sharing economy has been able to disrupt some of the very well regulated industries in many countries. So my question to you, as production and operations management experts, or people who are students who are learning and trying to become experts in this area, is the manufacturing industry immune to the disruptive forces of the sharing economy? So that's the question that I want to pose to you, and share some thoughts so that you can keep thinking about this and perhaps look into how we can start addressing some of the questions that may arise. So how does the sharing economy look for manufacturing? Let's take a look at the chart that we have here. And what you have on the left-hand side is, OEMs, the original equipment manufacturers, who may have excess capacity. And we know that in manufacturing, deciding and maintaining that optimal capacity is very, very difficult because of the fluctuation in the demand, seasonality in the sales. We always have difficulty identifying what that optimal capacity should be. So oftentimes, many companies will have idle capacity in their facilities. So it could be OEMs, or you might have other entities who might be manufacturers, who might be suppliers to the OEMs, mom and pop businesses who are just doing, having a machine shop, and it could be, companies who are providing logistics services, or it could be just you and me who has a vehicle sitting at home doing nothing, right? So those could be where we have the excess capacity. And then we need to have that sharing platform, which becomes, somebody has to provide that sharing platform to take the excess capacity from the source where it is available and provide it to individuals or entities who are in need of this product, service, or expertise on an as-needed, on-demand basis. Okay? Not a long-term contract. So it's not outsourcing, by the way, because outsourcing is you have a contract with the party that you are engaging in. Whereas when it comes to sharing, in the shared economy, you do not have a contract, you don't have a long-term contract, you do it on an as-needed basis. So this is how it could potentially look like in the sharing economy and how manufacturing could look like. But that is not all. So that's only one part of it. Now, manufacturers, especially the OEMs, are being affected by others providing services to end users, right? So you have companies like Uber, Uship, Lyft, Coyote, and Convoy, and so on. These are only a few examples, but they are providing new services to the end users, whereas the OEMs have been trying to sell ownership to the end users. So there is some cannibalization that is taking place, which is forcing some of the OEMs to start thinking about, should we sell access now? Okay? Instead of, and in addition to selling ownership, should we also start thinking about selling access, because there is this space that we can benefit from the customers that we are losing by people who don't want to own anymore. So if you look at it in a broader term, you can have two categories. There's one side where you can enable on-demand sharing of excess capacity in the manufacturing industry, because as the demand, capacity requirements fluctuate, some may have more capacity, some may be in need of capacity. So if we can facilitate that, that would be one way of benefiting from this sharing economy. On the other side, you also have this space where manufacturers can become on-demand service providers to consumers who no longer want to own a product, but are only interested in accessing and using that product. So what I will do next is kind of look at both these sides, and we'll look at a few examples and start examining, is this mythical? Is it happening? Can we make it happen? So let's take the on-demand sharing of excess capacity, the left-hand side of the previous slide, and look at a few examples. The first example that I wanted to share with you is a company called Make Time, and now it's part of Xometry. And what they have is a very interesting model for sharing manufacturing capacity. And this is very close to my heart because this company, Make Time, is in Lexington, Kentucky, where I am based. So you must be wondering where in the world Lexington, Kentucky is. Okay? So what you see up here, this is North America, this is Kentucky, that is Lexington, Kentucky. Okay? So we are almost in the middle of the state. So this is in our backyard, a startup company that established a few years ago. So what Make Time does is they provide a sharing platform where if you are in need, if you have a design and you want to make a product, let's say using additive manufacturing, they have a platform that you can use to connect to somebody who has excess capacity with a 3D printing machine who can make that for you. Okay? Or let's say you have a design and you have a component that has to be injection molded, but you do not have enough capacity in your facility to do the injection molding. Make Time allows you to find somebody who has that excess capacity and go use that. And for that manufacturer who has the injection molding machine that is idling, this is extra revenue, right? Because your machine is idling, so you can sell that time to somebody else and you make revenue. So it's a very novel business model in terms of making use of the excess capacity that somebody has to provide capability for someone else to manufacture the product that they want. So you can think of it as Airbnb of manufacturing. So they have an instant quoting engine, so the moment you give the design, they give you the price. This is how much it's going to cost you to make this product or component. And they also guarantee quality. Now, from a production and operations management perspective, if you're thinking carefully, you might wonder, how in the world do they guarantee quality when somebody else is making it? Because even when we make it, we have difficulty maintaining quality, right? So this is a big question. And earlier this year, Make Time was purchased by Xometry. Okay? Xometry is based off of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. And after coming under the umbrella of Xometry, actually the two companies combined now have access to more than 2,500 manufacturers that are connected on this platform. Okay? And with an array of capabilities ranging from injection molding, CNC machining, 3D printing, you name it, they have that capability to provide. They do guarantee high quality parts with expected lead time predictions and manufacturability checks. And also they provide 24/7 access and instant pricing. Okay? And they also talk about their customers who are using these platforms that vary from small companies to big ones like BMW, GE, NASA, and US Army, and so on. So a large number of customers. And then more recently, they have also integrated their app with SolidWorks, which is a very interesting way to kind of expand use of this platform. So just a simple example here. So this is the interface where the Xometry application is interfaced with SolidWorks. So once you have, let's say I'm taking a simple design example here. Once you have done the design example, you get a quote right away. From this quote is coming from Xometry to tell you, we have a manufacturer who has capacity and capability to make this part for you, and this is how much it will cost you. Okay? So, and also given that it is interfaced with SolidWorks, you can do design tweaks and see how the price changes, and so it offers a lot of capability to do, on-demand design updates. The second example that I wanted to share with you on this sharing space is shared trucking services or digital freight matching. Okay? Also very relevant in the supply chain and logistics context that we have been hearing about in this venue. So traditionally, when you are looking at logistics services and freight management, you have dedicated contracts at pre-negotiated rates with third-party logistics service providers, right? And what these service providers do is they sell, if they have excess capacity, they would be selling it to the brokers, but at a premium. So if you are in need of some extra capacity, oftentimes you are going to have to pay that premium to get the excess capacity. But digital freight matching, which is enabled by the sharing platform, brings up new opportunities. So this is just like the manufacturing environment that I shared in the previous slide. think of this as logistic providers and users of logistic services being connected by a sharing platform to use these services on an as needed basis with real-time tracking and real-time quoting. So you have the shared platform that connects companies' free capacity to the users, especially useful when you have less than truckload shipping and last mile shipping, because that is where you will need this, see this variation most often. And this allows you to manage utilization peaks when your demand changes, when your shipping capacity increases. It gives you an opportunity to use this kind of digital freight matching to make the best at the lowest cost possible. And also provides the opportunity to use multimodal networks rather than just relying on one, because if we are able to establish effective and efficiently functioning digital freight matching platforms, you should be able to get the best service at the lowest cost in order to ship that extra capacity that you have. And then there's, again, the digital freight matching space is also developing very quickly. These are some examples of the names that are out there that are trying or have been in this space. The third example that I wanted to talk about is a company called First Build, which is into the business of sharing design expertise. The company is actually backed by General Electric Appliances, and also in Kentucky. This is Lexington, so this is Louisville, Kentucky.